Discipline is the bridge between dreams and achievement. Without it, even the greatest ambitions wither. Your destiny is shaped not by chance, but by the choices you make each day with purpose and clarity. Success favors those who harness their thoughts, control their habits, and persist through adversity. Every action, no matter how small, when guided by discipline, moves you closer to your ultimate goal. Remember, a disciplined mind crafts a powerful destiny, and only through consistent effort does true success unfold. 1. Discipline over comfort. 2. Daily habits shape destiny. 3. Consistency creates success. Discipline over comfort sounds simple, yet it's one of the hardest truths you'll ever face, because comfort feels good right now while discipline pays later, and most people quit at that crossroads where the couch calls louder than the dream, where excuses sound sweeter than effort. And let me tell you something, comfort has never built a legacy, it's never changed a family tree, it's never lifted a name out of struggle and into purpose, because comfort whispers, rest a little longer, while discipline says, get up, your future is waiting. And the world doesn't reward potential, it rewards preparation. It rewards the person who shows up tired, shows up scared, shows up unsure, but still shows up, because discipline isn't about feeling strong. It's about deciding before the moment comes that you won't negotiate with weakness, that when your alarm rings you won't argue, when the work gets boring you won't disappear, when nobody's clapping you won't stop. And that's where destiny starts to take shape, not on stage, not under bright lights, but in those quiet moments where nobody sees you choosing growth over ease, pain over pleasure, effort over excuses, and you see, comfort is expensive. It costs you time, it costs you opportunities, it costs you the person you were meant to become, while discipline, though it feels heavy at first, actually sets you free, because once you master yourself, the world can't control you. Once you can say no to comfort, distractions lose their power, fear loses its grip, and procrastination loses its voice. And don't get it twisted, discipline doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you're committed. It means even when you mess up, you get back in line. You don't quit on yourself. You don't let one bad day become a bad life, because success doesn't come from intensity once in a while. It comes from consistency every single day, and consistency isn't glamorous, it's boring, it's repetitive, it's doing the same right things when you'd rather do anything else. And that's why most people won't do it, because they chase comfort like it's a reward, not realizing comfort is the trap, the thing that keeps them stuck in the same place year after year, talking about what they could have been, should have been, might have been, if only they had pushed a little harder, stayed a little longer, believed a little deeper. And here's the truth nobody likes to hear. Your life right now is a result of your past disciplines or your past comforts. Nothing else, not luck, not fate, not other people. And if you want a different future, you can't keep choosing the same easy options. You can't keep feeding the habits that weaken you and starving the habits that strengthen you, because discipline is doing what needs to be done even when your emotions disagree, and emotions are unreliable. They change with the weather, with the mood, with the moment, but discipline is steady. It doesn't care how you feel. It cares about where you're going, and where you're going demands more than comfort can ever give. It demands sacrifice, patience, humility, and faith. Faith that the work you're doing today will matter tomorrow, even if tomorrow doesn't come as fast as you want. And let me tell you, waiting is part of the process, discomfort is part of the process, struggle is part of the process, but quitting is not, because when you choose discipline over comfort, you're telling life, I'm serious. You're telling the universe, I'm ready. And doors start opening not because you asked, but because you prepared, because discipline sharpens your mind, strengthens your character, and builds confidence that can't be shaken. Confidence not based on applause but on proof. Proof that you can keep promises to yourself, and once you do that, Everything changes, your walk changes, your talk changes, your standards change, you stop settling, you stop begging, you stop waiting for permission, because disciplined people don't wait to be saved, they save themselves by showing up again and again, and yes, it's hard, it's supposed to be hard. Because if it were easy, everyone would do it, but the reward on the other side of discipline is something comfort will never give you: respect, self-respect, peace of mind, and the quiet pride of knowing you didn't waste your life chasing ease. You built it chasing excellence, one disciplined decision at a time. Daily habits shape destiny, and that truth doesn't shout. It whispers every single morning when you wake up and decide who you're going to be that day. Because destiny isn't some dramatic moment that drops from the sky. It's the quiet accumulation of small choices repeated so often they turn into character, and character, whether we like it or not, drives the direction of our lives. See, most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year because they're chasing breakthroughs while ignoring routines, looking for miracles while skipping basics. But the basics, done daily, are what separate the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the builders, the hopeful from the fulfilled. And let me tell you, your habits are voting every day for the future you'll live in. Every action is a ballot cast either for strength or weakness, focus or distraction, growth or stagnation, and the scary part is this: you don't feel destiny changing while it's happening. It feels ordinary, it feels repetitive, it feels almost invisible, but that's exactly why it works, because greatness isn't built in moments of excitement, it's built in moments of discipline when nobody's watching and nothing feels special, when you read instead of scroll, train instead of rest, plan instead of drift, pray instead of panic. And those small decisions may not impress anyone today, but over time they compound, and compounding is the real superpower, because habits stack. Good ones lift you quietly, bad ones pull you down just as silently, and one day you wake up shocked by where you are, wondering how life got so good or so hard, not realizing it was the daily pattern you defended for years that brought you there. And that's why you've got to be careful what you normalize, because what you allow daily becomes who you are eventually. Lateness becomes unreliability, excuses become identity, effort becomes excellence, discipline becomes confidence, and confidence becomes opportunity. And people think destiny is about talent, but talent without habits is just wasted potential. It's a gift left unopened, because the world doesn't reward what you could do. It rewards what you consistently do, and consistency is nothing more than habits kept even when emotions change, even when motivation disappears, even when results lag behind effort, because habits don't ask how you feel, they just show up. And that's why they're powerful. They remove decision fatigue. They remove excuses. They turn growth into a lifestyle, and once growth becomes a lifestyle, success becomes predictable, not guaranteed overnight, but inevitable over time. And here's the part people miss: your destiny doesn't change when you make a big promise. It changes when you make a small habit and keep it, when you choose to wake up 30 minutes earlier, speak a little kinder, work a little smarter, listen more than you talk, save a little money, learn a little skill, protect your time like it matters, because it does. Time is the real currency, and habits decide how you spend it. And whatever you spend your time on is what you're telling life you value. So if you value comfort, your habits will reflect that. If you value growth, your habits will demand sacrifice, and sacrifice isn't punishment. It's an investment. It's saying no now so you can say yes later. And destiny respects that kind of discipline. It leans toward people who honor their days, not waste them, who understand that every sunrise is a fresh chance to become slightly better than yesterday, not perfect, just better, because improvement beats perfection every time. And when improvement becomes a habit, momentum follows, and momentum changes everything. It changes how you see obstacles, how you respond to failure, how quickly you recover from setbacks, because Disciplined habits build resilience, and resilience keeps you in the game long enough for destiny to catch up. And don't be fooled, habits won't always feel productive. Some days they'll feel pointless, like you're running in place, but that's the test, because destiny is watching what you do when progress is slow, when results are quiet, when applause is absent, and those are the days that separate people who want success from people who are built for it, because success isn't owned, it's rented, and the rent is due every day in the form of habits, daily payments of effort, focus, humility. And faith that what you're doing matters even when you can't see the outcome yet. And if you stay faithful to the process, if you protect your habits like they protect your future, one day you'll look back and realize your destiny didn't change suddenly. It evolved steadily, shaped by mornings you didn't waste, choices you didn't compromise, and habits you refused to abandon. And that's when you'll understand destiny was never a mystery, it was a mirror, reflecting back the life you built one day at a time. Consistency creates success, and that truth is both simple and brutally demanding, because being consistent is not about grand gestures, flashy moments, or waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about showing up day after day, even when your energy is low, even when the world feels unfair, even when results are invisible, because the people who succeed are not necessarily the most talented, the luckiest, or the fastest learners. They are the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who understand that progress is often invisible before it becomes undeniable, and you see, consistency is a quiet power, a slow burn that compounds over time, shaping your character, your skills, your mindset, and ultimately your life, because success isn't built in dramatic leaps. It's built in small, repeated actions that add up, actions that seem insignificant when taken alone but monumental when stacked over weeks, months, and years, and that's why most people fail. They underestimate the power of repetition. They expect overnight transformations. They want instant validation, and when it doesn't come, they give up, forgetting that the world rewards those who persist, those who keep showing up even when nothing seems to happen, those who grind in silence while others sleep, party, or procrastinate, because consistency doesn't care about applause. It cares about endurance. It cares about commitment. It cares about whether you can stay the course when emotions waver, when distractions call, when comfort tempts. And let me tell you, emotions are fleeting, motivation is fragile, circumstances are unpredictable, but consistency, if you cultivate it, becomes unshakable, a force that doesn't rely on feelings but on decisions, and decisions repeated create habits. Habits repeated shape character, and character repeated over time produces results, and those results, when aligned with purpose, are what we call success. And don't misunderstand me, success doesn't happen because you want it desperately on one day. It happens because you've invested relentlessly over countless ordinary days, because you've built momentum by refusing to skip steps, by refusing to negotiate with mediocrity, by refusing to let temporary discomfort dictate permanent outcomes. And consistency is not glamorous. It's not celebrated in the headlines. It's not a viral trend. It's a quiet insistence that you do what needs to be done, the grind nobody sees, the effort that goes unnoticed, the choices you make when no one is watching. And that's where greatness is born, in the unseen, in the everyday, in the commitment to keep moving forward no matter what, because life will throw challenges, setbacks, failures, and doubts. But if you maintain consistency, if you keep your rhythm, if you honor your process, you eventually outlast, outgrow, and outperform. And there's a lesson here. Speed is irrelevant. Consistency is king, because a turtle moving steadily reaches the finish line, while the hare who sprints sporadically collapses halfway. And your own journey works the same way. The daily steps, the repeated efforts, the persistent pushing past excuses, the relentless improvement, those are the ingredients of real, lasting success. And consistency also builds confidence, because Each day you show up, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you can be trusted, that your word to yourself matters, and self-trust is the foundation of every great achievement, because when you know you can count on yourself, no obstacle is insurmountable, no failure permanent, no goal unreachable, and yet consistency demands sacrifice, patience, and focus, because you will be tempted to quit, distracted by shiny alternatives, frustrated by slow results. But if you resist, if you persist, if you honor your commitment, the universe responds in kind, not always immediately, not always obviously, but inevitably, because success is attracted to those who honor their process, who respect their craft, who understand that the secret is not in big leaps but in faithful repetition. And here's the beauty of it. Once you embrace consistency, you no longer chase success desperately. It begins to follow you, doors open, opportunities appear, momentum builds, and you realize that your destiny isn't a random gift. It's a natural outcome of the disciplined, persistent, and unwavering effort you invested day after day. And that's why legends, icons, and achievers all share this trait, not necessarily more talent, not necessarily more luck, but more endurance, more patience, more persistence, and more commitment to showing up even when it hurts, even when it's boring, even when it seems fruitless, because they understood what most people never do. Consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality, the path from desire to achievement, the invisible work that produces visible results, and once you adopt this mindset, once you commit to the small, repeated actions, the daily victories, the relentless pursuit of improvement, you'll find that success is not a distant destination, but a natural consequence of your consistency, your dedication, your refusal to quit. And that realization changes everything, because when consistency becomes your lifestyle, your identity, your non-negotiable standard, you no longer wait for luck, for permission, for perfect timing. Because you've built your own momentum, you've created your own opportunities, you've become unstoppable, and that is the essence of how consistency creates success quietly, persistently, inevitably, until the life you dreamed of is no longer a dream but a reflection of the disciplined, faithful, and repeated actions you committed to every single day.